Yeah, we live. I got my mother. Ooh, excuse my French. I said we live. Got
Nah, do you, do
I
you?
got the boy Mel Smiley in here in the building, man. If y'all don't know, man, Pastor Mr. Melvin Smiley, man, Far Rockaway, Queens, man. Man, where do we start, Mel? Because you know, man, me and you go back like over 30 years, man, and just to see you today, man, that should put a smile on my face. Like, you know how that go, man. But tell everybody what you've been up to, man. Those that grew up with you haven't been in contact with you, or just let everybody know what Mel got going on in his life.
Yo, man, shout out to Far Rock 5149, Alameda Avenue, the back park 440, the double buildings,
Right.
the people's, you know what I'm saying, the 5-4 in the back now because they don't do it in the front.
Yeah. That type.
Yeah, it's been like, real talk, it's been a good 20 plus years since I've been out of the rock. Every now and then I dip in there, you know what I'm saying, and I show some love, throw some paper in the pockets if they need it, and it's back to the other side of the town, man. I'm over in Fresh Meadows is where I'm living at these days, man. I used to live in Long Island, and yeah, man, it's comeback season for me. You know, I was sick for the last 3 years, man. I had a nervous breakdown, so being that we went this way, I'm gonna just go ahead and pop that way. You know, I became an advocate for mental illness, Ty.
That's
Um,
yeah. I remember we spoke about that, bro. And a lot of people don't know because you look so healthy.
yeah.
You
They
know,
see it now.
right.
You know what I'm saying? But only the wife and the kids and those close know about it. You know what I mean? Life happens. You know what I'm saying? Never did drugs a day in my life. Never smoked weed. Never smoked cigarettes.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm
That's a
saying? Never.
fact.
Never did none of that. You
That's
know
a
what I'm
fact.
saying? I was too busy spending my money on the cars and the clothes and taking the missus out when she was the girlfriend. And yo, it snuck up on me, man, like a dude trying to get you in the middle of the night, man. I started feeling different mentally. I knew something was wrong. I wasn't myself. And, you know, my wife knew what it was because she deal with this every day at work. But you know, when you start going down that road, man, you talk about stress. I went through a situation at work. Um, and the dude I used to work for was pressing me for a position. And I needed the job because the bread I was making, you know what I'm saying? My daughter, you know, shout out to my daughter, man. She's an educated kid and she loves the book. She was going to Stanford University, Ty.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So from where we come from, the closest college we know is York
Your
College.
college on Jamaica
You
Ave.
understand? On
Right.
Jamaica Ave,
Right.
stop and get you a slice of pizza and a pair of kicks in between.
Right.
And my daughter comes home one day and she's like, Dad, Stanford, Harvard,
That's big.
Yale. You understand, Ty?
That's big.
That's big. You know what I'm saying? So from where we come from, I'm like, yo, daddy making this guap legally. You know what I'm saying? Yo, whatever you need, we good. And you know, they politics of life. No matter where you are, it's politics. You know what I'm saying? So the dude tried to snatch the jaw from under my feet, man. And without being so, you know, discreet about it, I let him know, man, I'm from the rock.
Right.
I'm a
I ain't
calm
never
and
been no
collective dude.
sucker.
I'm a pastor, I'm married. But the only person in life that a man should be afraid of is his daughter. And I explained to him very specifically in detail, man. I'm not going back to my house telling my daughter, Daddy can't afford to give you what you earn. Because you already know where we come from. Yeah, you know, dudes will take. But I didn't have to. You know, I followed that path of life. I went to Thomas Edison High School, shop class. Shout
I
out to
want to cut
John.
you off right
Yeah,
quick.
yeah,
I
join
went to
anytime.
Thomas Edison with you
Yeah,
my
you know what I'm saying?
freshman year.
Yeah, you went there, Pooh went
Yep.
there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
And that alone was big because we left the stigma of Far Rock and Beach Channel High.
yep.
So you know, the education allowed me the opportunity to become a union electrician.
That's why I went there to become an electrician.
Yeah. But you and Pooh was fooling around. You know, y'all left before the prize was awarded.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But thank God we still where we are in life. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
long story short, I don't really want to spend too much time on that situation, but I lost it. You know, I let the anger get the best of me. Every day I thought about doing only the things that we know Far Rock is best for doing. You know what I'm saying? And I found myself going from being corporate to being hood. And unfortunately, it was what I knew. It wasn't who I was, but it was what I knew. You know what I'm saying? We grew up, you know what I'm saying? YNK, DDT, Five Horsemen.
Right,
You know what I'm
right, yes,
saying?
sir.
Anybody that's out there that's the age, they know what that is. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So before it was the red and blue, it was all these other, situations. So it's amazing, right? My mind literally took me backwards, and I couldn't be who I was. Let me rephrase it. I couldn't be who I should be. I just became who I was, what I grew up with, what I knew. So I migrated back to what made me comfortable. I was hanging out with the boys. We was chopping it up, talking about how to make a move. And all the while, I'm a pastor. You know what I'm saying? And my wife taught
Wow,
me later on in life, I really was supposed to just take it to God in prayer. And fast forward, in a few months, man, despite what the devil tried to do, my daughter graduates on honor roll constantly with a bachelor's degree at 22 years old. She broke the generational curse from having babies. I had her at 19. And I never forget, to segue to different route. I took my daughter outside where I live at one day, and I said, when you look outside, what you see? And she was like, a bunch of people going to work, college, and high school. So when I looked out the window, what I saw was crackheads, dope heads, drug dealers, gang members, you know what I'm saying? And more importantly, strollers. You know what I'm saying? Because in the hood, 17 years old, you a full-blown mother. You know what
wow.
I'm saying? Dude might have two baby moms, and that was something that I promised myself, man, I wasn't gonna do to myself. No disrespect to anybody that got kids, by multiple women or situations, but it just wasn't what I wanted, Ty. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
I know. Shout out to regular nigga TV, man, checking in. That's what it's all about. He said on.
Yo,
Yeah, I got the whole comment list right here, man. Shout out everybody that's tuning in. It's your boy Ty West, Twirl Talk Sports. Mel, before we get it go on any further, I wanted to touch on, right? Like as far as like growing up, you know, you was one of the top, being that this is a sports show. I want to touch on this right quick before we move on.
yeah, yeah, let's do it.
You was one of the top point guards of your era coming out. So, I know you got junior now that you putting through training
Killing
and
them.
it's just beautiful, bro. I'm seeing them working. I seen them doing the one-on-one drills, full
Yeah,
court. I'm like, and he a lefty.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And he
he's a
shifty.
lefty. So
Yeah.
yeah, they hard to guard. So how is that passing on that knowledge to your son about, how we had to, and I see you getting them tough and
Yeah.
ready. So, just any knowledge that you pass on him day to day dealing with the basketball scene and anything like that.
So you know what, Ty? Life has its ways of throwing a curveball, and before I start that route, I'm humbled to be put in that class or to even be said that because we just did what we did. Wasn't like we was looking to do what we did to be classified as anything. It was just the work that was put in when it was time to show up. We had the tools and the necessity to do what we did. But Joe, when I was sick and I feel bad, so I'm gonna do this and then get into that. Yo, my daughter can't touch a basketball to save her life. I don't know. I was just so into work that I forgot to pass that torch. My wife is the one that got my son involved with ball, and shout out to Team Craig, Lou Gary, and sports. They took the torch and helped to get him involved, and now bowling school just taking it to another level. Shout out to Fats, you know
Shout
what I'm
out
saying?
Fat Man.
Yes,
Word.
sir.
Shout out my
So
boy.
so basketball, man. We woke up early in the morning in the summer, and we went to the back park and before the sun came up, and it was full courts by yourself every day, running the drills that you see. We couldn't afford cones. We couldn't afford the $30 basketball, the $60 basketball
Right.
that these kids. I had a rubber ball, and
Word.
if you
Little
went up for the rebound the
9.99
wrong,
joint.
you know, Ty, you
Word.
went up the wrong way for the rebound, you're gonna jam your finger every time.
No, that's a fact.
You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? No nets on the rim. We ain't have that.
word.
and you had to learn how to shoot softly because on your side it was the double rims.
Yeah. And
So
on your side, it was the bent rim
it
that
was
was
the
a
bent
little
rims. You
lower.
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then on top of that, every now and then, shout out to Nat and his brother Junior.
They'd
Nigga had
come
to
with the
climb the
dogs and
fence because
chasers.
they
Yeah.
niggas was sick dog. You be in the middle of a
That's
full
a
court
fact.
game
Them
and you
niggas would
hear
come with like the
sick
whole mob of the
a
Bay
whole
Dog.
mob of dogs. I don't even know if that was legal in the hood, you heard?
Nah,
But
hell yeah.
yo, man, listen, I grew up under Melvern Hunter. Shout out to Melvern. Grew
One
up
of the most underrated, I might
what?
add, in basketball, because I even caught myself forgetting to put Mel on a
Come
couple lists.
on,
Man, I
baby.
don't know how I
You know what
did
I'm
that,
saying?
bro. I don't know how I ever
Melvern
did that.
Hunter. Melvern Hunter was one of the illest ball dribblers that was ever not known. You know what I'm saying? Nooney. You know what I'm saying? Shalit, Big Shy, High P, T Bell. You know what I'm saying? Them was the OGs. John Maddox, Popcorn. You know what I'm saying? Just to name a few. Freddie Black. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know who your game remind me of now that I seen him? Like today, I hollered at him on Instagram,
Who
and
that?
y'all had similar games because he played D just like you and all that, and he was an elite scorer if he wanted to be, but
Mm-hmm.
he was like a player. My boy Bunta, Anthony Russell.
Yeah. That's I forgot they little crew name, but that was Turk, Omar Turk,
Uh-huh.
Buntai, and
Right.
Alex.
Haas.
Alex Sanford and Haas. That's a fact.
Haas. Yep. Yep.
So that's what made the edge so unique, Ty,
Mhm.
because we never really officially had gangs, but we were gangs. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Based upon your building. So,
Right.
from my building, it was me and Buff. Shout out to Buff.
Shout out to my son Springfield. I
Springfield. You know what
was
I'm
just
saying?
with my boy when I was out there.
Yeah,
Uh,
Donnell Holmes and
Donnell
them, they
Home.
they wasn't nice, but they filled in the roster.
Nah, and y'all used to play us all that. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
because you know what I'm saying? It was like we was right across from y'all. So either we
Yeah.
was gonna put up
Yeah.
or shut up. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Then you had the Melvern, the Alex, the Omar, the Bunta, the Haas. You know what I'm saying? And then your side was just an assault of Army veteran.
Word.
Nigga Fats, CeeLo, Slug, shout out to White Boy,
White boy.
E
SK
Money,
Khalif.
Cam, Pooh,
Word.
Leach. Yo,
Word.
the list just went on. And
Uh,
we learned how to clap the backboard. That was big, you know what I'm
that
saying?
was big growing
Because
up.
we was short, so we couldn't dunk. So it was everything to catch an N1 and clap the backboard.
Now you
Or
was like the N1 king, G.
yeah,
You got
yeah.
the whole, you was leaning on everything.
Yo,
Your son was
shout
leaning on you.
RIP to Booby. Cause
Yes.
that dude took that
Yes.
move to the next level. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I
Yep.
don't want to forget him. And
Yep.
then it's the clap king from your side.
Jermaine Harris.
Jermaine Harris. But yo, E Trubs used to do us dirty with that too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out
Mm-hmm.
to E Trubs. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, shout
So
out, my guy.
yo, it was nothing for us to do, man. You know what I'm saying? And the OGs wasn't letting us sell. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't an option for us. You know what I'm saying? So basketball was all you had.
That's all we
Basketball
had.
in the
Right.
morning, breakfast, lunch, dinner. So if you was a worker, you know what I'm saying? You was working on your craft. And you work on your craft in the back part. And if you was so privileged, you know what I'm saying? We was chopping it up earlier. You take that thing to the 5 to 7. Shout out to James and Earl,
No, seriously, man.
Mike.
We grew up in there.
Shout out to
Rest
Sue.
in peace, Miss Teresa, man.
Reps in peace, Mr. Risa.
Wow.
Yo, just to show you how, you know what I'm saying, we can't forget the dead because they kept us alive. That became my wife's best friend at work. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? And the relationship she wouldn't even understand. So we don't even talk about it. But yes, sir, man. Shout out to Miss Teresa, man. She would be at the door, you know what I'm saying, keeping us in line,
Yeah.
yelling and screaming at
Yeah.
us. You know what I'm
Yeah. You
saying?
hear her voice a block away.
You hear her voice a block
I got
away.
10 minutes till y'all can come
10
in.
more minutes in the 7 line take over. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And don't and yo, I was talking on a live with Black last night, man. I just want to take a minute, man, just to shout out the people, man. Let them know, man. Listen, man, on your timelines, Stop calling females bitches, man, and stop calling men niggas. This is a vice versa. I'm seeing it so crazy. Forget about my titles, man. Just as a man, it's not good. You know what I'm saying? We got to show our black women more respect because our daughters are watching, our sons are watching. You know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to take a moment, to go spiritual on that note, Ty, because it's crazy.
Now
Back.
that's real stuff, Mel. Like at the end of the day, I couldn't agree with you even more. I myself even get caught up,
Mm-hmm.
catching myself doing that shit. Like I might put something up there where I use the B word and then I could easily switch it and say female. Like
Yeah,
feel
yeah, yeah.
so I've been catching myself lately with that right there. But so after you graduated high school, you had went there to learn, the trade of being an electrician, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thomas
And
Edison
Tom,
Technical and Vocational High School.
that's a fact. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and even that process was amazing because now you taking what you learned in the hood and you going to a whole nother school. Shout out to Otis Daniels. Me and him used to catch that train with you, with Pooh. And you
Hmm.
already know if you wasn't out the door at 5 a.m.,
You was late.
you was late. It was no
Jesus
making up
pissed
that
me off,
time.
man.
You was missing the train. Your
Bro.
moms was mad because now you gotta take a dollar van. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? And we didn't grow up with the money that, yo, man, my son, he requires $15 a day, Ty.
Yeah, right.
You understand? That 15 was probably for the week if we were
They used to,
lucky.
they used to give me like $3 to $5 every
Come
day
on.
and be like,
And
go
we
on your
made that
way.
work.
Make
We
it
made
work.
that
Make it
work.
happen.
Yes, sir. So
Bro.
Thomas Edison, that path was 4 years. I ended up graduating from there, salutatorian with a 94.8 average.
Now
And
you was always above average student growing up. I could go back to elementary. You was in all the A classes, just like
yeah,
myself.
shout
So
out to PS
shout
105.
out Miss Soto.
Miss Soto, Milka Soto.
Frost
Shout out,
Valley.
shout out to Miss Masulo, the baddest Italian that we ever know.
Miss Masulo, fourth grade. She's a fourth
Fourth
grade teacher.
grade,
They said
yeah.
she used to mess with Mr. Epstein.
Mr. Epstein. Mr. Epstein, Mr. Weinstein.
Mr.
Um,
Weinstein,
I
yeah.
forget that Epstein was the principal, right? That was the black dude.
Nah, that was Mr. Monte.
Mr. Monte. Look at you.
Yeah,
And
Mr. Monte.
yo, shout out to my mother in the green outfit. She was the president of the PTA,
Parent
whooping
Teachers
my ass if I
Association.
got in trouble.
Yeah, Parent Teacher
Parent
Association.
teacher. Yo, it's crazy how we
Yeah.
grew up.
Yeah, you remember the old lady that lived across the street in 409 used to be in Parent Teacher, Miss Knight?
Miss Knight, black lady,
Yeah.
right?
That was Joy, light skinned Joy
Yeah, like yo,
grandmother.
she was black as hell,
Yeah.
and Joy was light as
Light
hell.
as hell,
How
right.
we put them two together in today's society, I don't know.
No, seriously. But
Yeah,
yeah,
shout out to Miss Ann. Remember Miss Ann from
Miss Ann.
198?
Wow, rest in peace, Miss Ann, security
Rest in
guard.
peace,
Yeah.
Miss Ann, security
That's
guard.
bad. You just took it back. Jeez,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wow. You
man.
just took it back.
Yeah, cause you know what I'm saying, yo. When we do stuff like this, and I told my son to tap in every now and then if he feel like it, but he just got that P5, so I can't get him out the room. But yo, life took us just like how we moving right now. That was like back and forth. You had to move and shake, and then you know what I'm saying. I could deal with the topic. I don't care how people feel. And then it was the migration of the gangs. You know what I'm saying? One side became blood, one became Crip. You know what I'm saying? And that's when the rock just became different. I'm not gonna say it became better or worse because it wasn't like niggas was just pulling up on people like they doing today. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
It was a family. The families were the families, and they pick colors and they pick sides. You know what I'm saying?
But
And I
but a
got
lot of
caught.
people don't know those colors. A lot of those motherfuckers that was different colors was still dealing with each other, and they still
Yeah, yeah.
to this day.
And,
That's
and because listen, if you talk about the origination, you go to LA and you really talk about the gangs. The gangs was not about popping on people for no reason. It wasn't about just wilding out. It was protecting your side, protecting your interests, protecting your family. Yo, shout out to the hit squad. You heard?
no, definitely
Tanya Woodlock, Tanya Bino. I'm
Bino.
calling the government out because I'm probably the only one that could get the pass unless they eat me up in the DM
I did a
tomorrow.
video on them, Mel.
Word.
I got a video on the channel I did on them.
Word.
Yeah, go check that.
Yeah, Tanya.
Marsha.
Oh
I
my
got Marsha
God,
in there. All that.
Marsha. You got
Word.
Finky. You
Yeah,
got
all that.
Shanika B, Lakita, the baddest females there was in the hood. And only people could touch him was the one that had the money. You heard?
Nah, for real. Yo, I touched on all that in the video. You're gonna be dying.
Yo, man, the
When you
upbringing
go
was
watch that,
crazy.
I'm gonna send it to you after we done here. But
Yeah,
hell
send
yeah,
that
though,
to
man.
me, man.
So so once you got into the the unions of the construction, I mean the electrical unions and all that, and you started working your way up through the ranks, and now you making a little bit of money. You always came from a humble family. I used to come to your crib and eat and all that back
Mom Dukes to throw
fried
that fried
chicken
chicken,
like a
man.
mom.
Fried chicken and collard greens with the
Oh,
mac.
you were ready. So, I already know y'all was heavy in the church, all that. So, it was always when you came in your house, we had to turn our level of respect on to another notch. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you already had that in you. So I know you passed that down to your kids. So once you started, wanting to get into being the pastor yourself, how that whole
So the transition that you speaking of, you know what I'm saying, it really wasn't something I wanted to do. I posted the other day my pastoral license, and I specifically always tell people I never wanted to do this, because it comes with a heavy call. I watched my father neglect my mom's and us for the church. It's almost like your father's cheating and there's nothing you could do, and you know who the side chick is, and the side chick is called the church. You understand? Because if they call and somebody's in the hospital, Pop's got to go. If somebody's dying, you know what I'm saying, and there's a funeral, Pop's got to take off. If there's prayer meeting, you know what I'm saying, on a Wednesday night, and then he preaching at somebody else's church on a Friday night,
wow, yeah.
it's just, you never can have your father. And that's why I didn't want it, because I knew my son was going to need me. My daughter needed me, you know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, I call my daughter the struggle child, you know what I'm saying? Because I was heavy into politics as far as New York City was concerned. Shout out the local union number 3. I became an electrician, a president of the Latimer's Club, which represented the black body. I became a member of the NAACP, RIP to Dr. Annie B. Martin. So, life took me to a place I never imagined, Ty. The hotels I stayed in, the cities that I traveled, the passport stamps that I got, and it was more than electrical. You know what I'm saying? I was literally a black political figure, and like they said with Malcolm, that's just too much power for one black man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my demise was my own people. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we could sit right there for a little minute and just talk about where we are today. I tell people that I know about you, yo, man, I would love to see you become the next Stephen A. Smith. You
Right.
understand? Because like anything else, the torch got to get passed. You know what I'm saying? So today you in a t-shirt and we going from crib to crib. Tomorrow is my prayer. I speak prophetically through the church and through the anointing that's on my life, that somebody watch this video or one of your videos, and before you know it, you got your own studio and you flying us in and out. You know what I'm saying? And then I go from the people's pastor to Ty West pastor, you know what I'm saying? And we praying for people. We talking about the football game. We talking about the basketball game. We do a live video. We go back to the hood. We show them
Mm-hmm.
from where we really came from. This was the best gym that we could play in, Edgemere.
Serious.
We never had to invite the Far Rock High School unless you really was from there. We
Right.
never really played in Beast Channel. I don't know what it looks like in what is that, IS or 380, or what is that
53,
up? What is that up there across the
50,
street from the
50. Oh, 180, 180.
180? Yeah, I never,
Right. Yeah.
so because we was in zone schools, you
Right.
only knew the school that you knew.
Right.
So you fast forward back to the electrical, learning how to manage money wasn't really in the book. So I made so much that when I blew it didn't matter, because it came back from week to week. But thank God for my wife, you know what I'm saying? She kept me humble,
Shout
you
out to your
know.
wife too,
Yo,
man.
yo,
Word.
shout out to Shakina Sherry
Shout out Shakina, man.
from
Word.
Redfern.
That's a fact. Tell her, Mel, man, when you first got with her, man, I was running down on
Yo,
dude.
Ty would run down.
Because they kicked me out of Edison. I went to
Yeah,
Far Rock. She was in the
yeah.
Rock. Word.
And yo, talk about a diamond in the rough, man. I share this story. It was 6 months before me and my wife ever got intimate because that was her standard. You know what I'm saying? So to any young woman out there, to any female, I know the dudes might hate me because they want to get to the bag immediately. But yo, if you get a girl that thinks enough of herself to hold on to herself, it's probably gonna work out. Cause for my story, next year be 18 years of marriage and
Hmm.
25 years that we've been together, Ty.
Wow. That's a beautiful thing, bro. And the time just went so quick.
Oh my God,
Shout
the
out to
time went quick,
shout out
and
to Maserati Dot, man. That's little MC and Nug, little brother. Little,
yo, what's good, bro?
yo,
Grew up
what's
with
good?
your uncles and your dad, man.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out. If we gonna talk about that, listen, this is what we talking about. My next statement was the time is going so far, but the people that we lost, we lucky to even be alive. I'm gonna say luck. Because I could say blessed, but we all ain't grow up in church. And I
Mm-hmm.
know Nikki say I'm not lucky, but I'm blessed. But sometimes luck plays a role because the buildings that we lived in protected us from them guns that was going off. And so to Maserati, man, I don't know you personally, but yo, me and your cousin or Uncle Pooh, shout out to Pooh, man, R.I.P. That
Oh
was my
yeah,
right
yeah.
hand man, you heard?
Nah, hell yeah.
His
Nah,
grandmother used to make
bro.
us
That's the
bologna.
look. That's his name is MC too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's MC and them little and Nug little brother. That's the
That's
youngest
what's
one.
up.
That's the
That's what's
youngest
up.
brother. Whoa.
Yeah. Shout out to Miss Jeannie.
Nah, facts, facts,
The
facts, facts,
hood mother.
facts.
She took care of all of us, kept us straight.
Word. So yeah, so that's crazy, Mel. Though I mean, if it, I feel this though, right? If anybody would have out could have got into being a pastor, I would have felt it was you.
I appreciate that. I
Nah,
appreciate that.
seriously, and that's coming from just being around. Like I remember, I got stories for days. Like yeah, I was one of them little young dudes. I'm what you got me by like I'm 38. What you 40, right,
I'm
Mel?
gonna be 41 in March, man.
Right. So y'all had me about 3 years. You, my uncle Brad, all y'all, man. I was telling you. Remember,
Shout out to
you was
Brad.
taking me to fucking get the taps on my motherfucking Dolomites back in the days. Get our shit clean on Mart Ave across from McDonald's. You heard?
Oh man, what was that? The Army and Navy store?
Nah, not a little shoe repair joint next to the
Oh, the
check
shoe
cashing
repair
spot.
store. Yeah.
Next to the check cashing place we used to
Ty,
go
shout
to.
out the Dolomites. I ain't know what they was until my wife bought me a pair
Wow.
of a pair of them that couldn't put me in a situation today because the color that they were. But yo, we learned from the gutter. It was Air Force Ones. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Timberlands was big, and then if you had it, you went to that next level, and the Dolomites was what it was.
Nah. So at once you actually got in the church and became an official pastor, how was that whole experience with different dealing with different people from different walks of life? Like some people may be fucking recovering addicts, some people are prostitutes. He's just dealing with, people with different problems every day. Cause I know, I'm quite sure they want to come talk to you one on one sometime. How was that whole situation
So
with just dealing with different personalities and shit?
so once again, Ty, it's like you cheating on a wife, and I picked up where my father left off. You know what I'm saying? Not that he had a female, but again, it was a problem now looking back that I was naive to because I began to neglect my wife. I began to neglect my daughter. I began to neglect my crib. Like a prime example, like on a Friday night, we would have church services, right? Church service would start at 7. And to all the church people watching, man, get your life together because you don't realize the stress you put on the preacher, the pastor, the minister. Show up to church on time. Church service start at 7. Ty, they show up 8 o'clock. So
Wow,
where
wow.
and I was living all the way in Long Island. You feel me? So my ride home was an hour. My father gave me this crazy legacy that you never let a female get on the church or at the church, get on the bus or the train. So I would drop off 3, 4 people to their crib and then head on the Bell Parkway all the way to the Southern State. I lived on exit 41 North. Was it North, honey, or South? 41 North was where I lived at. And so all that time, if my wife was with me, She was like held hostage in the car because it's like, let's drop. I got it. My father told me I'm not gonna not do what my father told me
Right,
to do.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And then if she wasn't home, I leave the house at 4:30 in the morning on a Friday with my suit in the car. And by the time I come home, it's 12:30, almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I've been away from my crib on a Friday night all night and day. And thank
Mm-hmm.
God, my wife was a lady to the end of the story. She never cheated. But nowadays it's the breeding ground for cheating because you're not home with me. I didn't marry you not to be home. And I get that you got a situation and you was called to preach, but the anointing is not shared with both partners. You understand? When you get elevated, nowadays these young preachers, they don't want to go to work, Ty. They don't have no job. So I could deal with that instantaneously for a moment. They're prostituting the church. Everybody want to raise an offering. Everybody want to tell you if you don't put money in the plate, if you don't do this, you're not going to be blessed. And the reason behind it is because they don't have no job, Ty. So if you're not getting your own money, unfortunately, in some cases, it becomes rhetoric and propaganda to get the people to sow in, to buy in. So now you got a 35-year-old pastor that's full time. He don't got no job. He don't want to go to work. And the church is supporting him, his family, and his habits. You know what I'm saying? His fancy suits, him wanting
Mm-hmm.
to be at every conference. So it was hard, Ty, but back then I wouldn't listen. So I just told my wife what it was. We grew up in Edgemere, so the bully was always in us. And I literally, as a pastor, was contradicting myself. I was arguing and cursing out my wife, going to church, praying for everybody, trying to save the world, and then come back home and pick up where I left off at because I was too young. I was naive. I didn't understand what she was trying to say and what I was doing as far as neglecting my house. So the politics almost took my marriage out. You understand?
That's real, bro.
Yeah. So I would tell you to these young people out here that want to be pastors, they see them in fancy cars, they see them in the fancy suits. Yo, it's not what it looks like. Yo, it causes depression because if you're a real pastor and you care about the people on Saturday night, you've been studying for 4 days to give a sermon that's supposed to last for 45 minutes, right? They call it hermeneutics. And you're supposed to be able to preach, sing, pray for people in 45 minutes. Anything over that, you're doing too much and you lose the attention of the people, and nobody wants to come back because you're holding them too long in church.
Right.
So I would tell you,
So you
the
take
gift,
all that into consideration.
God, this is what's happening
Got
behind the
to. Right.
scenes. And then
Right.
on Sunday morning, if you got the wife like I do, hair done, nail done, suit on, she got the face, praise the Lord, she happy. But inside, I never asked her, but I would think she was saying, damn, I wish I never was with this dude. You know what I'm saying? Because of all that I got to go through, And so now you fast forward it, I've been offered to become the pastor of a few churches, and I refuse to step back into being full time in anybody's church. Um, I don't want to disrespect the church and say that, people are selfish, but they are inconsiderate, but they are. But I don't need to be in nobody's pulpit. The platform that God gave me is to be a father and a husband. Imagine that. That's not important. You understand? People want titles. Right now, I don't know how familiar you are with titles, but it's like they want to go to the league. So the league in church is a bishop. When
All
you're a
right.
bishop, you know what I'm saying? You over churches, you get to wear all these fancy garments, but are you qualified? Are you living that life? And I go back to it and then we'll move on. If you don't have your own money, then it's very hard to do that work because it's not sincere. You need the people to give you a certain amount of money to pay your bills. Right now, my biggest problem and liability is tuition. So if I was full time, I'd be preaching at every church I could. I'd be going anywhere I need to all over the world to pay my bills and my
Getting that money
tuitions.
up. Nah,
So
and that's what a lot of and that's what the rest. That's why I love that you want to pull up on here and kick it with me because everybody else wouldn't put it like that, man. And
now
that's it.
that's keeping it 100, Tom.
Yeah, they wouldn't have put it like that. You just summed it all up. in a nutshell, like, simple as possible. In simplest form, you just broke it down.
Yes,
How it
sir.
really goes down. So I definitely respect that. Hell yeah. But yeah, so you got the beautiful family, everybody know, like, the type of person you was raised up. So you got your son, your daughter, first of all, college graduate. She's going on to be a successful young woman in life. But now we got your son,
Yeah,
and
let's deal with biblically what they call a prodigal son.
you got Mel Jr. now, and it's looking like he gonna definitely be a problem on them basketball courts, man. I'm
So
watching
yo,
him.
once again, man, we go back to the theme of the show and we stick with basketball for a minute. Shout out to my wife, man. If it wasn't for her, he wouldn't even have knew the sport. And if I didn't get sick, I really don't know if I would have took the interest because again, I didn't do it with my daughter. And so you already know, like imagine my daughter and my son playing basketball, playing defense, playing. Hold on one second. Yo, shout out to my cousin, man. She just hit me up. Being this is one of the things I tell you about. It's not a distraction, but it's just a moment. My cousin just said that her husband, whole house got COVID, Ty. So, we say a silent prayer for him. She got to take him back to the hospital. He having trouble breathing. This thing is eating him up.
Right.
Perfectly healthy dude. Somehow he got COVID. And not only does he have it, but both of his daughters in the crib with them have it.
Oh my
And the
God.
wife is doing what she can best to try to survive and hold him down. So we say a silent prayer for my cousin, man. But
Yes.
so Ty, this dude becomes ambidextrous, which I've never seen. Right? Last time we seen a lefty in our era, we going back to Georgetown University,
Victor
Allen
Page.
Iverson, and we pulling up on Victor Page.
Victor Page. Yes.
So it's amazing to watch his journey because when he was younger, lockdown defender, stealing the ball, ripping it out their hands, fast as hell. And then Fortnite came in and is slowing him down. Um, yo, Si, I can't pull him off the PlayStation. And then 2K Live comes in. You know what I'm saying? And yo, the kid has the potential. I'm not even gonna say it just because I tell even Fats to tell you, I say it like this. I'm not saying it because he's my son. I'm saying it because of the talent. Any coach that's out there that's looking or listening, he is a general on the court. He could break the press down, high IQ. My biggest problem with him is, Ty, he's too unselfish. He'll get all the way to the rack, and if the big man is right there, when he should take it and end one him like I would, he
Yeah.
passes the ball. And
Right.
that's not really a problem because I mean that's a lost
I
art.
don't
That's
know.
a
We need to
lost
get him
talent.
some tapes of Daddy. We need to
Yo,
get him some
Ty, could
tapes
you
of
imagine
Daddy
if
or
we had
something, man.
Facebook and go back in the day?
Word, we need to get him some tapes of you or
Break
something.
that press
Some
and
of them
hand him up
housing
and one.
tournaments or something like that.
Yo, do you remember the Junior Knicks tournament?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Remember
The
the
light blue jersey.
stop the
Yeah,
violence,
stop
increase the
violence, increase the
peace.
peace. Hell yeah.
Booby, shout out to Booby from the
City
40s from
Sports
Tommy.
Saturday. The Saturday joint. City Sports on that
What?
year. Hell
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Hell
So
yeah.
Ty, I mean, the kid is looking to go to Duke
Right.
University.
Let everybody know what school he go to, just to let him, he ain't no average joker out here.
Yeah. So shout out to Christ the King right now. He's at Christ the King. He's one of the top point guards in the school. There's 4 or 5 of him. So I'm actually getting ready to reclass him and move him out of the city because it's like anything else. If you're going to make eggs and you got 5 eggs that look alike, smell alike, they sound alike, it's gonna
hmm
be hard to pick the right egg. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
So Christ the King, you're gonna be a little sad that 14,000 a year is getting ready to be redirected, and we'll pick it up when he put that
It sounds
uniform
like
on.
it's some Gerstel in his future.
I mean, Gerstel Academy is an option. McEachern is an option. Um, I'm his dad, Ty. So I'm politicking. I'm playing. I'm doing what I know best. I'm
Right.
politicking. I'm putting his face out there. I jumped back on social media really just for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's one clip away from that offer.
No,
And
seriously.
and I think if he put a foot or a foot and a half and he start yamming it, it's gonna be a real situation because he's a lefty by trade, but his strong side is actually a righty. But
Mm.
if he's on the free throw line, it's a picture perfect lefty following through. And I gave it the Fats to deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, Fats is like that too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He's a
Shout out to
lefty, but
Boss
he shoot
Crew.
with his right.
Yes, yes.
He right with his left hand, but he shoot
Mm-hmm.
with his right. Weird as
Yeah.
fuck. How was
One of
that
a
whole
kind.
experience just traveling around, like having those fucking workouts and stuff for the kids? In various states, not just locally, everywhere. VA, you name it, y'all there. How's that experience? You enjoying that?
So Ty is humbling because he's building a fan base. Number one. Shout out to Team Vito. Shout out to Coach Bo, Coach Crane, Coach Coop, Coach LA. These people are taking him underneath his wing. He's getting invites behind. Shout out to Jamari. You know what I'm saying? Fat
Fast
sister
nephew,
and
right,
his nephew. You know
right.
what I'm saying? And he's becoming like Jamari's little protege. So we humble that wherever Jamari go, he goes. And so he's playing up, but then when he plays his age, it's just a nightmare. You
Yeah, right.
understand? Because
It's
he's
not
used
even
to,
close, right,
yeah, he's used to
right.
being harassed by 10th and 11th graders. So when he playing with 8th and 9th graders, it's night night. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
right.
Yeah, so yo, let me tell you, the experiences is different. You know, we on the road Thursdays at 4. We traveling to the Baltimore area sometimes. God is so amazing. We partnership with the Marriott Hotel. So you see some of those videos. We're staying in top of the line
Yeah,
hotels everywhere we go. The new thing, and you see Fats is, I had to spiritualize this, man, because it's happening too fast. It's so amazing. And I'm fat now. So I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I'm 250. I got a gut. And my son don't believe in what I tell him. But what he's learning is that what you can't fake is conversation. And so I had to say I was nice, or somebody else could say it,
no,
but then he
I
can't.
told him personally.
Yes, and he learning, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But that generation is like, yeah, show me where's the trophy, where's the this, and they don't even know about trophy.
Shit, you
Like
had a bunch of
Ty,
yeah,
they
yeah,
getting
yo. You
medals.
still got all your trophies?
Nah, I played myself
You
with
had
them
a
when we,
lot of them.
yo, when we
You had a
moved out,
lot
I
of
threw them
trophies.
joints out, man.
You had
Yo,
a
we used to
lot of
have
trophies.
trophies the size of 4 and 5 year olds.
Yeah, yeah, you had a lot of trophies. No, that's
Yeah,
real shit.
man. Nowadays, and they don't even give out the trophy. Ty. Everything is a medal and a
Oh, plaque.
T-shirt or
Yeah,
a
a
plaque.
plaque. Yeah,
I have to remind them, yo, my son plays basketball, not track and field.
like tracking.
What is this? Congratulations, you won the chip. What are we getting? T-shirts and a medal.
A
What is
medal.
this? The
We can say,
40-yard
hold
dash?
on. Yeah, my baby boy don't play. He ain't a sprinter.
So
Right.
so we got this
Yeah.
thing with him, Ty, is when we say in him, that's almost like telling your dog to eat. And that's when he know, shut that dude down.
Nah, yo, crazy. I'm gonna mess you up with this one. You know what you got to bring back for him?
What is it? What
Hit
is
him
it?
on the head.
Oh my God,
Hit him on
Ty.
the head.
Ty, how do you be yo? What's so crazy is yo, your memory is so pristine that yo, you be bringing back things that are so specific and detailed. And that
Bro,
was it. Hit him on the head.
hit him on the
You know what I'm
head. That
saying?
was when
So
I
yo,
go
I
to. Yeah.
abuse him so much on the workouts that when he goes to workouts, he's used to it. He's loving it. So
Right.
I tell him, listen, we grew up with shout out to Coach Gary, shout
Hmm.
out to Rockaway
Gary,
Dave.
yo, his
Ty,
practices was real.
you be you
Yeah,
be
that
you
was
be doing
that was practice.
Ty, you be doing suicides for an hour and never touch the
Let a
basketball.
motherfucker talk.
What? Everybody's running.
We gonna be tapping the motherfucking wall. Remember
Yes,
you used
sir.
to have to jump with your hands up and just tap
Yes,
the
sir.
wall.
Yes, sir. Yo,
Oh man,
we've
now
been
that was
through it.
practice. That was
So yo,
practice.
so it's funny, right? We go all sports for a few minutes. Amazing to understand that kids all over the world is paying for what we had for free. And anybody from our era that want to pick up where Fats is where Team Crate is or anybody else in the New York area, is the bottom line is people just want the fundamentals taught to their kids. You understand? So the workouts is nothing special. You know, you're doing dribbling drills, you're doing 3-man weaves, you're doing make a layup, and then the shooter denies the ball for the other two players. The fundamentals, Ty, that's being lost to the game.
No, serious,
You
serious.
know, I mean, listen, no
Everybody trying to
disrespect.
run to the 3-point line.
No disrespect. Steph Curry did such a disservice to the
Yeah.
game by
Yes.
not explaining to these kids how he got there. You understand?
All right.
And we saw it because they tried to hand him over the league prematurely. And I know I'm gonna get a little flack for LeBron. I'm a LeBron lover, not because of what he does on the court, but for what he does off the court. You know what I'm saying? My family migrated from Alabama to Ohio. And if you know anything about Ohio, Ohio is New York City back in the 1980s when crack cocaine was crazy. So
Mm-hmm.
for LeBron James to come back to Akron and he's got the scholarship, shout
He
out
got
to
a
my
school too.
I'm gonna get to it. Shout out to my cousin Jeff. He's a Q. You know what I'm saying? He teaches at Akron, and he's telling me it's real. LeBron is paying for the majority of the kids to go to college. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the I Promise Academy. Yo, that school, I'm actually going to visit it. You're gonna see the live footage. I don't know if they're gonna let me in because of COVID, but I'm gonna hit it with the video from the outside in
Yeah.
2 weeks. So
Wow.
imagine this dude, his crib is right, his wife is right, his family, his sons is on his way to the league, and this dude took a moment just to give back. And to anybody that want to argue about who's the GOAT, Michael Jordan, LeBron, Magic, again, you got to analyze in today's society, not just what was done on the court, but what was done off the court. So imagine you talking about legacies, and we're gonna get into that because that's what I'm paving the way with my son. We just tapped my daughter in with balling schools, and remind me to talk to you about the application process of college and high school. And she's starting a YouTube channel. I'm gonna need your help to get the word out.
Nah,
You know,
hell
I
yeah,
think
bro.
I
You know
think
that.
she's trying to get like 50,000 viewers and all of that. And I told her, whatever you do, do it from your heart. Because think
Hell
about it,
yeah.
Ty. We move into Mel's next stage, right? So I'm talking about reclassing him, letting him do the ninth all over again. So when he starts at his next school, they could embrace him and he could just be there for 4 years. So when you go outside of New York City, the fan base is crazy. I showed the Baller TV tag the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is streamed live. So Farak will be well known, what I'm saying, in other states, hopefully one day other countries. When he puts that Farak hat on, whoever makes it, shout
Mm-hmm.
out to the Farak America crew and the
Nah,
dudes that
hell
make these hats, you know what I'm saying? I let them know, I take them to the hood every now and then. I show them my mother's 4-bedroom apartment. We lived in 3G for several years. My father held down the telephone bill 6342868 for 30
yeah.
plus years. We had the same phone. And
Same
yo,
number.
me and Fats was cracking time. Remember your moms or your grandmoms had that 200-foot cord? So you be on the phone is in the kitchen,
Shit go
and you
anywhere.
walking 200
Go
feet.
anywhere with that
So
motherfucker.
anywhere you want before the cordless
Word.
phone.
That shit got knots in it and all that. It still
Knots in
go
it, all
anywhere.
that, all that. So yo, Ty, what's going on now is the kids are struggling because some of them are athletes and pure athletes with no brains. There's a kid in college, and we'll talk about the name later. Um, my daughter was his tutor. He's in
Mm-hmm.
his senior year, might go to the league, might go to overseas. And the thing I want to talk about, and I want you to try to hone in on is on the sports channel. Anybody that's an AAU coach, got a basketball program, and this is where, right now, me and Bowling School are chopping it up while the Living Word Leadership Academy came about is because it's no good to be a jock no more. It's no good for you to be able to score 40, but you can't get an 85 on a math test. It's no good.
Gangster,
It's
gangster
no
jackass.
it's no good. You're an idiot. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Because somebody's gonna be stealing your money. You're not gonna be able to count it. Like, I mean, we've seen so many of them. I mean, just imagine if what we have now was out right now. Far Rockaway would have college legends: Ron Evans,
No,
Junior,
seriously,
Steph.
seriously,
You know what I'm
seriously,
saying? Drac, Javon
seriously.
Brown, Chet, Fats. But the way that society is the nice kids come from bad neighborhoods. You know, I give you something about gentrification. And
That's
it's
that's
something
that's
you,
definitely that's definitely acceptable. I definitely take that. The nice
Ty, think
kids
about it,
came from
Ty. Think
bad
about
niggas.
this, Ty. We lived in Edgemere, and once they shut Seatown down on 51st, the next closest supermarket was in Bayswater, which was 40 blocks away. Then
Bravo,
you had
right?
Bravo, yes, sir, by Happy Ducks.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to the Jamaicans.
The
You heard?
Jamaicans, right,
Yes,
right,
sir.
right.
Or you had to go to Seatown and Hamels. So
No,
imagine if
seriously.
you had beef, you can't go get food because niggas gonna pop you when they catch you in a supermarket.
In C-Town and Hamels, right,
Town, you understand? So Ty, you got to talk about the demographics of life when you're talking about future athletes on your channel. Give back to your community by putting something as simple as a supermarket, right? Because when you don't have the proper produce, when you don't have a healthy diet, your brain does things it's not supposed to. You know what I'm saying? We lived on a 5-4 eating Jamaican beef patties with cheese and
cocoa
cocoa
bread,
bread. You understand what I'm saying?
Chinese
And,
food,
and and it's not the same beef patty and cocoa bread that you get from the Ave from the real Jamaicans. You know what I'm
right?
saying? Chinese food is a healthy meal in the black community, and you bread with pork fried rice and chicken wings. If your moms ain't got no money, nobody's eating shrimp and broccoli. You
Word,
understand? Nobody's eating that because it costs too much.
right,
And back then it was crab legs and egg rolls.
right. Right.
So so
After the
so
after the basketball game meal,
after a basketball game, you know what I'm saying?
uh,
Or those burgers that's in the bag that they heat up in the microwave.
the two
And
dollar
then
the jumbo.
yeah, and then you and then and then Ty, I saw a kid. I said, yo, how this kid even know? If you ain't have money for a juice back in the days, it was the tropical fantasies. You gotta
Yeah,
take the bottle, hold your head back, and
yeah.
give you a swig, and your lips better not touch my bottle.
The sperm busters,
Sperm
aka
busters. So
that's what they
real
call.
quick, just to sum that question up, Ty, it's amazing. Right now, we heavy in the DMV area. You know what I'm saying? We building a little relationship in Richmond, Virginia. There's some courts out there that are amazing. Nobody knows about them, and bowling school is tapping in. You know, my prayer, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I told Fats the other day about this interview is that there's some type of understanding that comes with Team Crate. Bowling School is not an AAU program. It is an enhancer of AAU programs. You feel me? So
Mm-hmm.
my hope is that somebody wakes up, a sprinter is purchased, whether it's ill-gotten funds or not. I'm saying it. These kids need to be transported out of New York City because their talents are needed and they're necessary. Then they need a support system behind them so that when your kid gets an offer, and it's starting at high school, Ty. They tapping in for high school kids. So when
Mm-hmm.
your kid get that, you may not be able to relocate, but you can send them and you can support them. So that's gonna be money and finances. You know what I'm saying? We need it, baby. You know,
Nah,
you heard
hell,
it first from me. There's
yo,
opportunities out there.
everybody go follow that Ball and School channel on Facebook and Instagram. Ball and School, BALL N School, SKOOL. Ball
Yes,
and
sir.
School. Go tap into that, man.
Please,
My
please.
boy Maurice Peggs, aka Fats, got a good situation going on for the youngsters, man, and everybody need to tap in. Mel got his son going in there getting workouts, even though he's at one of the top schools that New York City has to offer that produce some people like Lamar Odom, just to name a
Yes, sir.
few, and things like that. So yeah, this is a good situation for a lot of kids, man, that want to take basketball serious and take their game to the next level and not just be local talent.
Yes, sir.
Tap in.
Listen,
That's all
Ty,
I'm saying.
Ty, it's getting to a point. I'm ready to call all basketballs to be surrendered and stopped. If they talented, don't let them play in New York no more. I'm
Right.
keeping it a buck with you,
Right.
because if
The
they not
market is
playing
bigger
for
everywhere else. Yeah.
Todd, they not playing for the Gauchos or Riverside or Wrens, it's night night. You're getting overlooked. And that's the one of the things that the guard talks about all the time. If your kid is overlooked, come see me. And we got to be humble, because as black people, we very prideful. You know what I'm saying? Nah, this is my kid. I want to make sure nah, man, this is not about, like, my son at some point. That's why I don't tell, his name is not Mel Smiley on the court. His name is Mel Cartier. You understand? And even on his IG, it's not Mel Smiley, it's Bully Fam. You understand? Because I teach him how to play bully ball. You know what I'm saying? Because I let him know I'm always going to be the baddest dad in the gym. Shout out to Edgeman, made me a
Yeah.
monster.
Right. Right.
Ty, I
Right.
don't care who it is, where I'm at. I think I could beat you. I'm telling you that right now. And if you pop on my son, you
Yeah.
better hope my wife is there or I'm on medication, because I'm going back where I came from and I don't need to
Yeah.
be there. But I let my kids know I will sacrifice my life. You
Yeah.
understand? That's what
Well,
it's that's
crazy
what
you
it's
just
at,
said
Ty.
that.
They
I was
gotta
just about.
know,
Go ahead,
Ty,
man.
they gotta know. They gotta know they dad. I love my wife, but I love my kids more. They gotta know that dad is tapped in. If you a sucker, it's gonna affect them. It's gonna affect their approach. It's nice that Kamala Harris is the vice president. I'll switch and go politics for you. But at the end of the day, they're not gonna give it to you. You gotta come take it.
Yes,
You
sir.
understand? I teach my daughter. That's why my daughter's name is Maya, because you don't know if she's black or white. And if you don't see a picture when she talk, you're gonna think she's white. And I'm
Hmm.
okay with that.
Right.
Call me a sellout, whatever you feel you need. I can tell you one thing we have no problems with, and that's finances. Because education, the name of your child, and the way that they talk is the first impression that you don't get to make a second time. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, shout out to the Black Lives Movement. Shout out to all of these Afrocentric situations. I'm a part of a group. I'm going to blast them, called the Black Network. And, listen, I get it. I support Black businesses. But some of us cannot provide for the children what we need. So we can't lock ourselves in a box, make it seem like, yo, if it ain't Black, it ain't right. If it ain't this, I know when to turn it off and on. Let's keep it
So
100.
yeah, so in other words, I'm gonna put it out there in simplest form for anybody that didn't catch it. He put his family and his children in the best situation possible, to where he knew they could succeed in life and be better than what he was or the people that we grew up around was.
Can't say it no better, Ty. It,
You
I
know, he put
only
his,
know how to say it how I know how to say it, but
right.
that's why,
He put
Ty.
his
That's
kids in
that's
a
why
better
you're
position.
necessary, Ty. That's why
Right.
you're necessary, because the Mel Smiley that they knew that used to play ball, I can't touch a ball. I got a back surgery. You heard? So at the end of the day, Fats just said you got an interview tonight. Tap in, ball in school. Tap in.
That's
You know what I'm
fast.
saying? Yeah, that's fast. He just
Tell
hit me,
fast
man.
I said what's good.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna let him know, man. But yo, Ty,
hey,
this
yo, Mel. Nah, I want to touch on this before we go, man. Just to let
guy,
everybody know, man, everything ain't been all motherfucking uh peace and peachy and smiley land, man. Tell them, man, it been a setback for a comeback, man. Tell them about that little situation you went through a
so
couple years ago.
Ty, a couple years ago, man, I was 37, probably 38. I don't even remember, because I try not to. And this is
Yeah,
why I wanted to do this interview with you, man, because sometimes people see my pictures and my wife and my kids. And I don't know. I mean, listen, why would I promote or glorify the negative? You understand? But I did 3 months on the island, you know what I'm saying, as a pastor, as a preacher, as a dude that was making six figures. I was out of my element. Never was I ever scared. I'm going to keep it a buck. I ain't like nobody that would say, yo, I had C-19 on lock. Nah, I got snuffed. I got jumped by some gang from Brooklyn. You understand? And I understood what it was. Prison life is different. So I'm starting this initiative. I need time, right? Because I gotta have the funds. Because once I open this door, but you hearing it first out of my mouth, it's called adopt an inmate. You heard? So when I was on the island, They never charged me, Ty, because they never really had nothing on me. So what they did was they pulled me out of my elements. I made a mistake. I did rob a store for 3 pair of gazelles. And anybody that's been locked up, you know, anything over 1,500, that goes from petty larceny to grand larceny.
Grand, right.
You understand? And the DA trying to figure this situation out, and it really wasn't a robbery. I gave them my money. You understand? I needed the deposit back to pay my daughter's tuition. You're talking 4 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to one of the best schools in the world. I get to that in a minute because Lou Gary needs to hear this. Yeah, I need to pay the tuition, so they wouldn't give me the money back. So on the way out the store, I said, you know what? I'm gonna yank these glasses, keep them. I'm gonna go sell them in the hood. And anybody that don't know, when you walk out of a store, right, they have a chart. So they had me on camera. They had my exact height because when you walk out the door, there's a chart: 6'5", 5 foot, whatever. And the community I live in, they locked in because I was harassing them because they took my job. I did 3 months on the island. That 3 months felt like 3 years.
No,
You heard?
serious,
Shout
serious.
out to Okie. You understand? Shout out to
Gerard,
Shine Boy.
Gerard brother, Skills brother.
Skills brother. Shout out to Shine Boy. Shout
Uh,
out to PJ nephew. Shaka. You understand? Those people took care of me. They taught me how to move. You know, part of the reason why I'm this big now, because I was eating 6 pieces of bread a day and all of the carbs I could. Because if the situation called for it, I just was gonna grab you and hold you and squeeze you until you couldn't breathe no more. I'm old, you know. I can't be tussling with them. Yo, the 20-year-olds had it going in there crazy. So I did that time on Rikers Island. I paid my debt to society. I lost everything. You heard? Repossession of my vehicle, credit score went down to 400, and I wasn't familiar with that lifestyle. So the reason why I'm starting this adopt an inmate situation is because $30 a week for commissary means everything. You
no, hell,
talking, you
whoa.
talking oodles and noodles.
Who you
You
telling?
talking 2-3 packs of cookies. You talking the powder Hawaiian punch. You talking bottled water. It's one thing to go to jail. It's another thing to be on a bad diet while you're in there. You understand? And then if you could eat right, then you can make the right decision. So I'm on the comeback time. I've been out for 3 years now. Thank God I had a career, so I was able to step back in. I can work anywhere in the world. And fortunately, New York gave me my chance that I needed to make sure that the tuitions are there. So anybody that ever judge me, man, or ever look at my page and see like it's not all glitz and glams, man. 3 years ago it was tough. And it's tough now. But
That's
I've
real
learned
shit.
how to wear it.
Nah, that's real shit, man. And all a person could do is respect that, because that's just being honest, bro. You could have been up here faking the funk like, life has been so much better than the next man, but you ain't up
Exactly.
there giving it up like you telling it how it is, and that's just respect, bro. But hell
Yeah.
yeah,
Ty,
just more.
before you leave, let me say this last piece, Ty. For anybody that's got kids, right, that's going to high school and they play ball, no disrespect to Christ the King, no disrespect to any of these great name basketball schools. Make sure the decision is made on education, not basketball, because we got the statistics. It's 11,000 kids a year playing college basketball. All right, 11,000. In the league is less than 1,000. So the pipe dream that just because the kid is nice now is not necessarily, I'm gonna use a big word,
Yeah,
it's not necessarily gonna matriculate to the next level, right? So that's why bowling school I partnered with the Leadership Academy, because Little Mel, he could play New York City ball all day, but guess what? In the South, all that dribbling and niceness means
you gotta
nothing.
have them fundamentals
You
down,
got
right?
if you not V cutting, if you don't move without the ball, the coach told Mel straight up, you nice, but you better learn how to play down south. We don't care what you can dribble about. Three dribbles, three
Hey,
dribbles, you better be up the court catching an N1 or I'm gonna sit your ass on the bench. That's what it
seriously,
is.
seriously.
So I'm gonna leave it with this note. I was looking at Team Crate, Lou Gary, shout out to you, boy. This is all love. There's nothing in between. Send that girl 90 cakes to St. Francis Prep. Don't send her nowhere else. Why? Because St. Francis Prep has the highest scholarship rate that I've ever seen in my lifetime. You understand? They have a mural where they put all of the seniors up, and underneath all of these kids' name, they look like drug dealers. Ty, 250,000, 450,000. One kid has 750,000 in scholarship offers.
Wow.
So what I'm saying to you is, ball is lasting for 4 to 8 years, but then there's this thing called life. And if you knew better, you do better and get them into the school that's going to give them the best education. Support these kids because, again, the basketball schedules are strenuous, the practice is strenuous, but then they got to go to class in the morning. And if they can't talk that talk, once basketball is over, or they get injured, or they catch a case, or moms pass away or something, Ty, it's going to be another good story like mine, like Fats, like Ron, like Nooney, and we
Right.
never going to know the full potential because they don't know nothing else.
I ain't gonna hold you, man. I just came up with a whole thing here, man. I think you should pull up on the show at least once a week to drop a jewel or two for the people, for the
Ty,
public.
Sunday nights. Sunday
Sunday
nights
night,
with Sunday nights with Ty West and Pastor Mel.
Pastor Mel. Nah, for real. We gonna put that together, man. But I
Yeah.
appreciate you, bro. You know it's all love, my nigga. I'm actually send me your email so I could send you a copy of this
Yeah,
video.
yeah. Ty, I'm gonna
Mhm.
leave you with this right here for your show, man. This is what we live by in the Smiley House every day. Live every
Uh-huh.
moment, laugh
Love
every day,
everything.
and
Love
love beyond
beyond
words.
words. Salute, big bro.
That's what we profess in this crib. And on the way out the door, my wife got the best comment that is gonna be, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Shout out to all of the Muslims. Assalamu alaikum to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Jehovah Witnesses. Shout out to the Jews. Shout out to whatever religion, whatever faith you are. At the end of the day, Ty, I don't force it on nobody, but I start with it. I end with it. I'm Pastor Mel. They call me the people's pastor. I've been to hell and back, and now I'm trying to make a legacy that lasts forever.
That's real stuff right there, Mel. Salute, big bro. You
Yes,
already,
sir.
man. We gotta get up out of here.
Yeah,
Man, we
yeah,
got
yeah.
a dope show, y'all.
Yo,
Make sure
Ty,
y'all subscribe.
Sunday nights with Ty West and Pastor Mel. I love it.
Tune